With so many different entertainment properties coming together under one roof, the developers working on Kingdom Hearts had to get creative. They wanted to make sure that each character they chose to use had their time to shine, and it saw various mechanics employed in regards to the narrative, but also gameplay. The most obvious was the different worlds Sora could visit. They had a central focus on a specific Disney property, but they also wanted to allow for other Disney characters to appear who didn't have a related world, and one of the main methods for doing so was the summon system. This was borrowed from Final Fantasy, and in an earlier draft, Bahamut was even intended to appear as a potential summon, but for the final product, 6 Disney characters were chosen, with 2 related to worlds that were featured in the game, and 4 relating to other prominent Disney properties, one of which was Simba from The Lion King. It was a welcome addition, and over the years, Simba has continued to appear in a similar vein within the main numbered games. But even though that may be the case, Simba's utility has seen numerous changes, and throughout this video, we're going to explore them all in quite a lot of detail to show how the developers built upon and referenced that initial appearance. So welcome to the complete evolution of Simba in Kingdom Hearts. Summons in the original Kingdom Hearts could be obtained by finding summon gems, and Simba's summon gem, the Earthshine gem, was acquired from Leon during Sora's second visit to Traverse Town. This made Simba the first summon that could be acquired in the game, but that didn't make him any less powerful than the other 5. After being summoned, Simba could replace Donald and Goofy in the party, and outside of performing base actions, he could be commanded to perform Proud Roar, a move that paid tribute to his epic scene at the conclusion of the first movie. This was an area of effect move that impacted everyone around Simba in a circular radius. It made Simba quite powerful, but the most important aspect of the move was that it could be charged up. And depending on how long it was charged, the move would change its output, with there being 5 potential levels. When charging, a ring would appear around Simba, and any Heartless or other enemies standing within the ring would be damaged upon performing the move. The first 2 charge levels did nothing but increase the radius of the move and its damage output. Level 3 and 4 then added a stun in addition to more damage, and if Proud Roar was charged all the way up to level 5, instead of increasing the amount of damage, the move gained an elemental affinity, gravity. This saw Proud Roar deplete a set amount of damage relative to the target's current HP, and it could be devastating. With everything combined, it meant this initial representation of Simba was quite comprehensive, and it laid a solid foundation for future appearances. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories released on the Game Boy Advance 2 years after the original game, and it featured a brand new combat system that revolved around using cards to undertake all sorts of actions, including summons. The summon cards that could be found were created from Sora's memories of the first game, so outside of Cloud, they were all the same as in the original Kingdom Hearts, and Simba was again the first summon that could be acquired. Unlike in Kingdom Hearts though, in Chain of Memories, summons would appear, perform 1 or more actions, and then immediately disappear. In the case of Simba, his main action was again Proud Roar, but its standard utility was changed, as instead of being a circular area of effect attack, Proud Roar instead damaged enemies in front of Sora. It could, however, still be upgraded in strength, but instead of this being based on charge time, in Chain of Memories, it was based on the number of Simba summon cards used, and there were also only 3 levels of power as opposed to 5 in the original game. Each level continued to increase the damage output, and level 2 and 3 added a stun, just like the original game, but the gravity-based enhancement was removed. Evolving the concept of what a summon was, summon cards could also be combined with other cards, allowing Sora to use more powerful moves. In the case of Simba, his summon card could be used to help Sora perform Shock Impact, Quake, and Terror, and this was where there were some interesting subtleties. Shock Impact, for example, could be used when combining Simba with 2 Kingdom Key cards, and it was a damage-based move that affected enemies all around Sora, much like Proud Roar in the original Kingdom Hearts. It also had the chance to inflict a status effect, Stop, as a modification. Quake was another area of effect move, and it could be cast by combining Simba with a magic card and a gravity card, a nod to the most powerful form of Proud Roar. Simba next appeared in Kingdom Hearts 2, but this time he did not appear as a summon, as he was instead upgraded to appearing as a guest party member. This tied in with the Pride Land appearing as its own unique world, but unlike the two previous games, in Kingdom Hearts 2, Simba was not the first guest party member to be obtained. Instead, he was one of the last. In this role, Simba could be equipped with items and accessories, and he came with a custom weapon, the Proud Fang. As he could be fighting alongside Sora in a more permanent capacity, Simba could also be assigned various AI commands that would determine his playstyle. When called upon, due to his elevated status, Simba now had an expanded moveset that was primarily offensive in nature. Outside of his base attacks, Simba could use Fierce Claw, a technique that landed successive attacks on a selected target, and Ground Shaker, a nod to Chain of Memories, where the Simba card could be used to perform Quake, and this particular move damaged enemies all around Simba following a huge battle cry. If Sora was in a pinch, Simba could also use Healing Herb, which had the same potency as Casting Cure, but his main utility came from something new to his arsenal, a limit break called King's Pride. This allowed Simba to deal significant damage, and it was initiated by a move called Wildcat, which would see Sora and Simba leap towards their enemies with rocks flying everywhere. During the limit break, a move called X-Claw could be used to dash towards enemies and strike them, with High Fang used as a reaction command, which would lead to Simba spinning in the air towards the enemy. Upon completion of the limit break, Simba would then perform his signature finishing move, Proud Roar, and this served as a fitting throwback to the original Proud Roar, as although there were no levels available, it was an area of effect move that would damage all enemies around Simba. Following the release of Kingdom Hearts 2, Simba did not make another significant appearance, skipping all the spin-off games until the release of Kingdom Hearts 3 over a decade later. In this particular game, Simba was relegated back to being a summon as opposed to a guest party member. He could be obtained in Monstropolis by putting out fires in the tank yard, an action which saw Sora receive the Pride Heartbinder as a reward, and Simba's Link summon was named King's Flare. When brought forth, Simba would immediately perform a circular area of effect attack, very similar to what had previously been seen with Proud Roar, and much like in the first two appearances, this had an associated elemental affinity, except unlike those appearances, the affinity wasn't gravity, it was instead fire, as denoted by the use of Flare in his Link summon name. It was an interesting twist, and it was followed by another twist, as Sora rode atop Simba as opposed to fighting alongside him. In this mode, Sora could ask Simba to undertake two commands. Firaga Leap, which saw Simba jump through the air, landing with an impact, and Firaga Roar, which was again very similar to the lower level version of Proud Roar. Unlike prior iterations, neither of these moves had any enhancements and were quite vanilla in their application. The same could also be said for the finisher that Simba would perform after completing his allocated time. This again performed a devastating area of effect attack that dealt considerable fire damage, but each of these moves were useless against enemies with fire affinity and didn't inflict any status effects or gravity-based damage. It meant that although Simba was very powerful in Kingdom Hearts 3, it was a different kind of appearance from what we'd seen before. Nonetheless, that rounds out this particular video. We hope you enjoyed this retrospective look at how Simba has appeared and subsequently evolved throughout the Kingdom Hearts franchise. It was certainly an interesting first foray into the evolutions of Kingdom Hearts, and we had a lot of fun pulling this together, as we haven't ever done an evolutionary topic like this one before, so it would be great to get some feedback. Did you enjoy it, and would you like to see us tackle other Kingdom Hearts summons? If the answer is yes, then please do let us know by either commenting or liking the video. Make sure you subscribe as well, as we have plenty of other evolutionary topics that we can't wait to delve into in the near future. Alright guys, with that, this is Daryl signing out. I hope to see you all again soon for more Kingdom Hearts goodness.